Greetings and salutations, Frankie Howard fans all over the world. I'm what's left of Russ Kane. What a day it's been, eh? What a day. And sitting on the other side of the screen is the legend that is rapidly becoming Ollie Mammon, who was slightly more human to me today because I could hear him yelling at his dog, which just completely cracked me up. I thought it was only me who had sort of canine broadcasting issues. Welcome along to Men's Radio Station. Welcome to the ABC of CBD, one of my favorite hours of the week. Your reactions to this show has been sensational. And as I always say to Ollie, the proof is in the pudding when we get you writing in and leaving messages like, I wish I'd have discovered Ollie Mammon and the Tincture Club years ago because I've taken the product and it's eased my pain. Wow, there is no greater thing. Speaking of the Tincture Club, Mr. Cinnamon, let's listen to our sponsors.
I'm sure you've heard before that good quality CBD needs to be really, really expensive. This is the new view of CBD, a product created by users for users, a product at an affordable price, available everywhere, at any time, at the simple click of a button. Just CBD and MCT oil. No additives, no preservatives, and no flavor enhancers. It's a simple subscription-based service. The cleanest possible CBD delivered to your door for the lowest possible price. Your product, your rights for the lowest possible price.
Love it.
It's a fabulous piece.
Love it every time.
Just to explain to everybody before we get into the meat of the show is that if you go onto the Tincture Club, you get a discount by mentioning you go onto the Tincture Club, you get a discount. You can see on the bottom left of our little screen here, and you get an instant discount. So please do. I am unashamedly promoting that. And Ollie's prices, and I'm not just saying because we have become friends, bizarrely, but we really have. And what can I tell you?
Modern
I don't
world.
get out much. What can I say? And his prices are fantastic. They're really marvelous. Enough from me. As always, I hand over to the maestro of tincture, the doctor of CBD, Ollie Mammon. The stage, my friend, is yours.
Not a doctor, okay? Anyone watching, all right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. Just a dude who makes products. Hi, I'm Ollie Mammon. Welcome to the ABC of CBD.
Well, you could be like Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, or Dr. Zeus.
No, I don't. I've never liked Dr. Zeus, but Dr. Feelgood would work out.
So Dr. Zeus was the poet, right?
Yeah.
Rubber dub dub. Welcome to the Tincture Club. Exactly.
That fabulous guy, Philip Larkin. You're like the Philip Larkin of tincture. Okay.
Dropping names here. I don't know. So
He was
anyway, so
poet laureate. Move on.
I feel really guilty. I should know him. I'm a poet. I should know this stuff.
I studied English. I don't know what you do. I don't even know one end of a test tube from another. So there you go.
It's okay. So welcome to the ABC of CBD, everybody. Russ is actually with us this week. We actually have internet connection from him, which is incredible.
You'll bock it, man. You'll bock it. You put a curse on it.
It's been around 4 weeks that we haven't actually heard from him. So it's incredible to hear his voice. He has one of the greatest voices in radio history. So for me, it's a pleasure just to be able to listen. Okay. So that's enough flattery for us before his head explodes.
That's very nice.
No, not at all. I just missed you. I missed you this last few weeks when you've been here but haven't really been here. I don't like holding down the fort by myself. It's a lot of responsibility.
I'm here.
So episode 13, ABC of CBD. We've had an incredible run. You've met some incredible people. I mean, I got this message from someone midweek, which was just to let you know, like I've learned so much from your shows, and I'm a little bit annoyed. I only discovered it about episode 7. And is there any way of going back and seeing the rest? And all the episodes are available on SoundCloud. All the episodes are available on my Facebook page. They're available on the Men's Radio website. They're available on YouTube.
Our YouTube channel as well, yeah.
Yeah, our YouTube channel as well. They're all available. All of this education is there. Just because you've heard it once, share it with your friends, share it with your loved ones, share it with people who might need it. And, the information is there to be shared. And also, if anyone ever has a story which they want to share, please feel free to reach out to us. This is a platform for this community. This is a platform for all users out there. So don't feel afraid to, share your stories. Your stories are the stories which make this program so great. So just bear that in mind. Awesome listeners and fans of Russ. There we go. So basically, ABC of CBD, episode 13. Today's topic is designing a cannabinoid product. Now, this is what I do for a living. I design CBD products. For those who've seen previous shows, you know why and how I got into this world. You know, I had Tourette's syndrome and I wanted to find something for myself. I've used cannabinoids for quite a long time. And when I discovered CBD, I realized I could have the edge removed without having any of the negative effects of other cannabinoid compounds which are found in general street cannabis products. So I've managed to medicate myself and meducate as well. So I've been able to medicate and medically educate myself on what I need.
Give us that word. Whoa, give us that word again.
Meducate. I did this last week. You loved it. Or 2 weeks ago, I dropped it.
But I still love it.
I love it. So I thought I'd do it again for you.
Just drop it in, man. Drop it in.
I'm constantly dropping these word hybrids. So I learned about what I needed for myself, and I apply the same logic to everything I do for everyone else. So I always think about a problem and I create a product for that problem. Now, it doesn't always work because there's only so much a human can empathize with something which they can't feel, but that's where my logic goes. It's like, what am I trying to fix when I'm trying to create a product? Because someone's going to be using that to fix a problem. Now, my journey and my needing an accurate, reliable, consistent product enabled me to create my methods in which I create reliable, consistent products. And usually what I do is actually quite simple because I like the simplicity to be able to understand what I've done to help me or others. Now, every product designer out there has had their own journey through life, which has brought them to a point where they've found a way or realized how they want to create a product or what they want to create a product for. So our guest today is another, you could call it CBD manufacturer. He has his own brand. He's a bit of an advocate. He's got an incredible story. I mean, as a person, he's got an incredible story. He's got an incredible history. Now, I'm a very strong believer that, our story brings us to where we have to go. Like everything's got a story behind it. So, my past has my story, which has created my future, which created the reason why I'm here making products. That's my story has brought me here. And I just wanted to bring on a different CBD manufacturer to get his idea on how he creates products and what his logic is when he's creating something for an end user out there. He's had a lot of, you could call it patient interaction as well, dealing with end users and consumers of cannabinoid products. He has a fantastic understanding. He's educated himself. But the best thing is he's just an ordinary person. So back onto what I was talking about a few weeks ago with Callie Seaman, Dr. Callie Seaman, about this idea of hidden knowledge. All right. We live in this community where there is so much knowledge and information which is hidden behind closed doors. Now, the gentleman I'm about to introduce you to is one of these people. He has this wealth of education and this wealth of understanding when it comes to cannabis and cannabinoids. But he's, I'm not saying hidden in the back, but I mean, like, he's not a recognized scientist. He's not a recognized doctor. The chance of him being able to get in front of a government and talk are very slim. The same with me, but he still has this incredible understanding that can't be ignored. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest.
Love that intro, bro.
It's freaking awesome, though.
Intro, dude.
So, everyone, this is Mr. Jamie Wood.
How are you doing?
Jamie Wood is an older gentleman, as you can see. He's not as young as me, but he's been in the industry for a very long time, and he has this way of thinking. Now, about a year and a half, maybe a bit more, a friend of mine called Jacob, basically started thinking about his friend Jamie. And Jamie does this and Jamie does that. And you and Jamie would get on like a house on fire. And Jamie's mentor and your mentor, and you guys used to get together. And then over the last year and a half, never met him. And then maybe 4 weeks ago, I walked into the office and my head of sales, Nick, was like, "You've heard of a brand called Woody's?" And I was like, "Shut up." And he was like, "Yeah, Woody's." I was like, "What?" I go, "I've been meaning to meet him for like a year and a half." He goes, "Yeah, he's coming to the office next week." Or like coming to the office in 2 weeks' time. So I was brilliant. So Mr. Jamie comes into the office and it was like I've known him my whole life. All right. Like literally, I've heard so much about him. He is exactly what was described to me. Just an absolute rough around the edges genius. And facts of the matter is it's like it was just incredible. And for me, like also a rough around the edges genius to meet another brain who is this hidden knowledge, that someone who's immersed himself so much in this world of cannabinoids, you know, it was like a great interaction. Now, Mr. Jamie Wood has actually saved the day today because our guest tonight actually pulled out. So I mean, literally come out the blue and literally say
how to make someone feel welcome, Ollie.
Yeah,
How to make someone feel
yeah. He knows. Listen, no, Jamie was supposed to be a guest in like 3 or 4 weeks' time. I called him up and I was like, "Look, buddy, I'm going to have to push you." He goes, "Till when?" I go, "Till tonight." He goes, "It's a little bit short notice." I go, "Look, man, I need it." So he's come on, and I just know we have this incredible chemistry. I know he has this great story, and I basically. This idea of hidden knowledge is very fresh in our brains. I wanted to get this hidden knowledge in front of you because Dr. Caddy Seaman would agree, and Tanine Montgomery would agree, and you know, Dr. Carrillo would also agree that it's people like this who need to be listened to, and people like this who have actually dedicated a large proportion of their life to understanding this subject, who need to be heard. So I wanted to give them a platform. So everyone, round of applause, Mr. Jamie Wood.
Thank you, my brother. Again, another blinding introduction there, dude. Thank you for having me. Man. No, thanks for having me, man. I'm looking forward to getting into things. It's difficult to find people that you connect with on this sort of level of information and cannabinoid knowledge. And for me, I can talk all day about it and get in. I need it. I need the banter. I need to ask the questions. There's so much to find out still. There's so much unknown about CBD, cannabinoids, terpenoids, everything that's on offer. There's very little knowledge. So, you know, I know I'm self-taught. I know I didn't go. I'm a doctor, but you know, sometimes I feel like a little bit on a level playing field with some of the much more like the PhDs and you know the MAs, and you know, I'm not going to be one, dude. I've been like rocking around there, going mad for 40 years, dude, 46 years. So. You know, my education was a bit messed up, so I never got the chance to, you know, be a genius like with a PhD next to my name. But certainly with cannabis, I feel like I'm on a level playing field that I can talk to some of the greatest minds in the world and sort of hold their attention for a little bit at least.
Well, one thing I've got to say about you is you are innovative as hell. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, a couple of the products which you put in front of me when you came into the office, I was like, yeah, man, dude's definitely thinking outside the box. You know, and that's what I always like seeing. I like seeing something that I haven't thought about because, you know, you think about 1,000 products, you make 3 of them, but you still want to think about the 1,000 products. And you came in and you brought in a CBD infused kombucha, which I thought was incredible. And fact of the matter is it actually tasted good as well. And kombucha never tastes good. And then you also brought in like the mushroom capsules, which I thought was incredible because you've got this whole sort of there's a whole education, you could say, around what mushrooms can do as well. Not the psilocybin, so not the medical mushrooms, not psychoactive mushrooms, but like normal mushrooms have like immense.
The lion's mane, the turkey tail. I mean, mushrooms is a whole nother program.
It's a whole nother program.
Oh, you know what, Jamie, we'll get you back to talk about just about that, just about mushrooms. Because as soon as I hear the word mushrooms, I'm already thinking Jim Morrison in the middle of the desert having hallucinations. So
mushrooms are the beginning and the end of everything.
Are they?
That's the way to describe them. They're the start and they're the end. They give life. And they disintegrate. They're like a garbage disposal.
There's a whole education
that falls, every leaf that falls on the ground. Mushrooms are there to devour them, to recycle them, and to put them back, just like an animal.
Do you know what, Jamie? Do you know what the biggest thing on the planet Earth is?
I don't know.
Not a joke. It's a fact. Okay. Most people would say the blue whale, which is meant to be the biggest living thing ever. It's not. There is a mushroom in America that is so gigantic. They thought it was a whole load, hundreds of different. It's one organism.
It's in America. It's a lump of mycelium. It's this guy. This is my favorite. This is my an amazing book.
Amazing. Love him.
Amazing. Paul is the man. This got me into the mushrooms. He's just done a documentary called Fantastic Fungi, which is life-changing for me. That mushroom that you mentioned was on there. It's like a plateau. It's mycelium.
It's gigantic. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, huge. Fantastic. And so, it's like there's some amazing bits in that fantastic fungi. And it was when a rat was walking through the forest, it dies, the fungus sets in, the fungi then decay the rat, bring it back into the soil, take its nutrients from its bones, its fur, everything, recycle it into the soil, and then life grows from the soil again. Something comes down, eats the vegetation, lays some seeds, life again. It's the
continuous cycle, or the continuous cycle of life. It's incredible.
There could almost be a song there.
Yeah, but I've already ordered my. After watching that show, I realised that I want to be buried in a mushroom coffin.
What? So it eats you alive?
Well, there wouldn't be a mushroom.
What's the matter with you? Like, literally, what's the matter with you?
The coffin decays, and then my body goes back into the earth, and my earth gets recycled, and vegetation grows from my biomass.
By the way, it's very important I mention this to all of our listeners. Jamie is really a character. Okay, I've just got to throw it out there in case you haven't realised it yet. All right. So the way he was described by one member in my office, he's Ollie times 1,000. All right, that's what someone said to me.
Warn me. Ollie, you didn't warn me. It's taken me 13 weeks to get used to you.
I didn't warn you. Now, what I want to do is we've got like an hour show, so I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back to I want to introduce you and your life a little bit, and then I want to kind of get into how you got into the CBD world, if that's okay.
Let's go.
Fine. So, well, how old are you, first of all?
Oh, I'm 46.
46. So let's go back to the 70s when you were born, right? Like 71, 72?
So 74.
74. Sorry.
Man's a child.
Born in 1974. Tell us a little bit about your life.
Born in 74. My mum actually met my biological father, I call him, when she was 16. Had me, I think, at 18. Left him at 19 and met Ronnie Wood, my stepdad. So then I think I was 2. Ronnie came into our lives, picked us up, took us off to LA, where I grew up for the first, 6 or 7 years. And a mad place, I didn't realize then, but I look back on it now, and there was this was LA in the 80s.
Oh my God.
We'd walk into the toilet, there was Richard Pryor in there smoking crack. I didn't know.
Wait, hold on. Richard Pryor is like Hear No Evil, See No Evil, right?
Yeah.
That Richard Pryor is like my childhood. Like him and Gene
He's
Wilder
your hero.
are like my heroes.
Do you know who I exchange messages with every day?
Gene Wilder is my hero.
Do you know who I exchange messages?
If you say Gene Wilder, I'm going to kill you for not introducing. I'm going to jump.
He's dead now. You're not going to meet him. It's very weird that you ran into Richard Pryor, because I'm in communication every day with his daughter, who lives out in America.
Amazing. But they were all mad. I mean, it was party central. My house has always been party central, basically because of my parents. But it was, Richard Pryor, John Belushi. I mean, John Belushi was a big hero of mine, dude. I remember I came in once and he was there. I was only 5 or 6. I've been watching Saturday Night Live a lot. He was the big thing then at the time, and he did the backflip. He did his backflip on Saturday Night Live, and for me, that was the most amazing thing. And he was a little fat man that could do a backflip, so I thought it was fake. So I said to him in the front room, I said, "Can you do the backflip for me?" And I remember that he'd done it for me, clear as day, right in the middle of the fucking lounge. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's incredible!" But LA was mad in the 80s. Everyone. Freebase was just rolling out, and everyone was going a bit mad in them days. Then I think we got a bit too mad for mum and dad, so we went to New York, where it was, the parties were still happening. It was a little bit different in New York. It was, but the same party central. I wasn't allowed any mates over for sleepovers and stuff because the parents thought we were all evil, demonizing drugs and.
What year was this?
This is probably like we're talking 80, 83.
You were there at the same time, Ross, weren't you?
No. I was in New York in the 70s, in the late 70s, where I lived.
Yeah, we sort of left. I think we left LA. We left LA in sort of 81, around there, and went to New York, and New York was a dark place as well at the time. Dad went pretty dark. It was a dark place, dude. But there was mad things. I would wake up in the morning, and there would be, I'd come out, get ready for school. I'm eating my Fruit Loops. I had my nanny and my sister, and then there's sort of weird people and paraphernalia all over the place. I was, you just come down. I remember once I came downstairs, and there's this dude on the sofa. I'm like, who is that dude, man? It was like sick and drunk. It was a mess. So who is this dude, man? I looked over, but it was Christopher Reeves. Listen, I was a Superman fan, dude. My man's out of his nut. So I've gone, I thought they killed him, didn't they? So I've gone upstairs, I'm like, dude, tonight can't kill him, but you can. This is bullshit, dude. I was proper upset about it, man.
Did you think that your parents had suddenly put green kryptonite in the living room?
Kryptonite.
Ridiculous.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, really. This is certainly when my introduction to cannabis began. I used to go downstairs. You got Keith Richards. You got all these mad people coming around smoking hardcore weed. The house stunk of weed. I come downstairs. There's weed in the ashtrays. There's half joints, rider. These. These back in them days. They're like tampons, and they sit there with a joint like through the bottom with their finger and their hand, and so there was all joints. So I used to steal the joints. I used to nick them and put them in like microphones and like hit them.
How old were you now?
We've got to be about 8, 9.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh God!
Yeah. And then I gave with my sister as well.
Tale.
My sister was 5, and I was giving her.
Wow! Joking me.
It's rock and roll, dude. It was all good. Well, So that was.
I'm just astonished you're still here.
Yeah, when I met him, I was like, "How
Jamie, I'm completely astonished you're here and compos mentis and articulate."
A long time ago, Dave.
So then, Jamie, let's go forward. Let's say 10 years, 10 years or so, 18, 20. Like, where are you when you're 18, 20?
Yeah, so I got moved around a lot. So lots of schools. I went to 17 different schools. I came back to England when I was about 12 years old. No friends. It was difficult. Every time I was in a different place, I got moved around. So it was quite difficult to find anyone that would play with me. So got to England, sort of got involved with, like, could say probably the wrong crowd, kids on the street and stuff. That I was envious of them. They had relationships since they were 5 years old.
They had friends. You just wanted to be part of the crowd. You've never had that. Like, it's from an outside perspective, it's like, rock and roll must be so great. But then, when I met you, there was that little bit of,
it's not.
It's hard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that, like, of course, everyone, when you look at your lives, everyone's life is hard. But I mean, like, when you actually, like, grass is always greener. But when you look inside, you're like,
probably not the best phrase.
Dude had a really, 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 it's a tough upbringing, like it's almost like the military kids who don't actually have a grounded, you don't really realize it. Grounded foundation.
Everyone deals with the hand they're dealt with the best they can, I guess. So you don't really notice that anything is a problem. You just try and fix them problems. So I wanted friends. So, you do things to
have friends.
Yeah, and
that's the world, isn't it? It's sad, isn't it? But it's the world. So I'm not trying to put anyone down or anything. I'm just talking, like, from a outside perspective. Sorry.
But one of them things, though.
Jamie, can I ask you a question? And forgive me, Ollie, it's slightly of a tangent to what we're here to talk about.
Fine. Absolutely fine.
But this is Men's Radio Station, and we deal with mental health and well-being. And I'd actually like to get you on the show quite separately, but I have to ask you this one question. Did you feel, 2 questions, I'm going to be cheeky. Number 1, did you feel it was an enormous sort of burden to have such a globally famous father?
Dad, yeah.
Since the 60s,
the shadow, the pressure.
Right to this day, is it an enormous burden for you, or is it to you? It's just Dad, and that's it.
No, it's trying to find your own identity in life.
Yes.
It's all about him. Everything was about him, every step of the way. Until recently, until you sort of try and get away from him, it's always him. because he's the famous one. He's the rock star. He can't do no wrong. He's the one with all the adoring fans. And we get caught up in it. The kids I've seen it with my brothers, my sisters. You get caught up in it. You start to think maybe you're something special because you're the son or the daughter.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Not.
Were you able to keep your I'm going to use a silly phrase. Were you able to keep your feet on the ground and not be surrounded with people who go, oh, I just want to be friends with him because I
of his
like
dad, exactly.
Yeah, most of the time, like when you're growing up, you spot it. You spot people. They don't even want you for the money. They want you to be associated with fame.
Of course, they want the celebrity vicariously through
they want
you.
the number in your phone, you know.
Yeah,
but they don't care about anyone else but themselves. It's you know, but you know, if you're good and a little bit manipulative like myself, you use it for your advantage. So I can get into any nightclub. I get a table at any restaurant. I could probably, you know, get pretty much what you want from people if you know, give them a little taste of the life, I guess. It's a very shallow.
Oh, it's absolutely shallow. It's completely shallow.
It's incredible that you can admit it. I tell you what it is. It's incredible that you could talk about it. And like I want to apologize because this wasn't the topic we brought you on here to discuss. So I mean, like, if you feel at all like you've been ambushed or anything, I really am so sorry.
It leads to mental health. It leads to mental. It's all this whole. You know, everyone's got their own story, their own trials and tribulations, and everyone deals with things. Now I've had some major mental health things, and I've made major mistakes in life because of this situation. You know, because I want to prove myself, because I want to be rich on my own merit, because I want to be not famous, but I want to leave a mark myself. I don't want to.
A mistake, though, is a very valuable thing. So I've actually got it written in my notes because this is one thing which we talked about. Actually, Jacob brought this up to both of us. Our mutual friend Jacob said, he goes, between you and Jamie, you've probably made so many mistakes which have brought you to where you are. But that's what makes you both so great. It's because it's the mistakes which have brought you to where you are, which you know you've both made. And I've been messaging with Jamie about actually doing like a separate kind of conversation just about our mistakes, because it's incredible that he could talk about it. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I just don't want you to feel like we've ambushed you. This was not like, you know what I mean? I don't want you to feel like we're pressuring you to get any information you don't want to give. Do you know what I mean? I want all my guests to feel comfortable.
I chat forever, Dave, about all the range of subjects. It's just getting started.
Oh, good man. I like it. I like it. Carry on, Russ.
No. I'm just fascinated. I'm sorry because I really want to get it back to the ABC of CBD, but it's because we deal with these issues day in, day out on men's radio that I just feel it sort of behooves me to mention it. And the other thing I would say about mistakes, and I'd say this to both of you, is that they're okay if you learn from them. If you learn from them and can stand back and objectively say, that was really dumb, I will never do that because. But if you go and repeat it again, more fool you.
So I've got a buddy called Jack. He uses this word called a learnson. Okay, so it's a lesson which you learn from. A learnson.
Oh, that's clever. Right.
Yeah, so it's the same sort of thing. It's like you have to learn from these lessons, you know. And fact of the matter is look, as someone who's also suffered with mental health a lot over the past 30 years, and as someone who's suffered mental health as a result of a mental issue. So my Tourette only made me more anxious and more angry, the fact that I wasn't right, you know, and that put me on the path to finding what was right for me and making me kind of, exactly what you see in front of you today. I feel like you've done the same thing, Jamie. That's what always that's what attracted me to you when we had our meeting. I like the fact that you're more mental than me, and it kind of means that I get to be the quiet dude in the room.
The phrase, please, Ollie.
But I also I like the fact that you've been on this journey. You know, you've almost been rolled down the hill and you've come up on the other side, or just dusted yourself off and walked on. I kind of like that about you. And I just want to know, do you like from a product manufacturer's perspective, you've had this journey, all right? You've obviously had a lot of pain and you've obviously carried a lot of this burden on you. So I understand you were probably, your original usage of cannabis was probably, you could call it a deviant use. You were using it to kind of prove a point that you didn't have to listen to anyone. It was almost like a power play. The original smoking weed at 8 years old.
A blanket as well.
Fine. But now in life, like, do you find that cannabis is much more of a therapeutic tool for you? Do you think that the products you design are kind of from that therapy sort of perspective? Do you think because you because like you said, so mushrooms heal, all right? You put your body through a journey of, like, I don't want to say destruction, but you've put your body through a journey of destruction. Are you now trying to heal yourself with the products you've created? As in, like, what's the mindset? Like what's the process?
Yeah, totally. I think everything, the experience of, I think once you use and start to understand CBD on a personal level, then you can try and share it with everybody else. That's I'm a bit like, this is why I love you though, Ollie, because when it comes to my products, you're like me, I can't sell something unless I can make it. I have to know inside and out about every single thing that does.
Why?
That product does. Because you need to share that experience with someone else, and you want that other person's experience to be equally as good as your one. I know that everyone's different, and that's why it has to be taken as you have to look at it like, like a patient, and try and understand. And the more questions that you can tell me about yourself, about your weight, about these things, about your experiences, the more you can try and shape a cannabinoid therapeutic session or program for you. I also think cannabinoids are just one of the things. It's good eating. It's exercise. It's great sex.
Good sleep. Funny.
It's everything. It's that whole, homeostasis of your whole being that pushes you forward. That gives you the health. Cannabinoids won't heal you on your own. You need other stuff with that. If you're eating McDonald's every day and take a load of CBD, I don't think help. No,
so I always say, like, my biggest annoyance on this marketplace is they make things like CBD infused chocolates, CBD infused gummies, and CBD infused beer. Because I'm like, all right, mate, you're going to go down the pub, you're going to drink 16 beers, and you're going to think that you're taking care of yourself. Like, how does that work? I'm going to eat 46 CBD infused chocolates, and guess what? I'm going to feel like I'm going to lose weight. It doesn't work that way. The dentist is not happy with us. So that's all I'm saying. The dentist is not happy with CBD manufacturers.
Let me ask you both a question. Are you both in? Are you? I don't use the word competitors in a negative way, but you both have similar based companies. Is that generally the idea?
So Jamie is a bit more, I would say, client facing. So Jamie's a brand, so he's a bit more the product which actually go to end users. Right, he'll be the face of that product. He also does his own design. Right. He also does his own manufacturing. We are predominantly manufacturers. We have brands, but our brands are very much so we have brands like the Tincture Club, which is a single product brand, single product offerings. What's it called? Jamie is, I would say, a competitor, but then I would like to say he's good competition. Now, I have this logic in this industry that it's not about me making money. It's about the end user getting a product which they need. They buy that product from me, great. They buy it from someone else, great. As long as they're getting something that works for them, I don't really care if the money goes to my pocket. It's not about me. It's about the community. Now, Jamie's what I would call good competition. I would very happily lose 50% of my business if I knew it was going to Jamie, because at least those 50% of those customers are still going to be taken care of. Do you understand what I mean? And that's what.
No, I get that. I get that. It's extraordinary, but I totally get it. It's
important. It's important in this industry.
It's counterintuitive to
business,
how normal to normal business practice, but I love it. I mean, it's fantastic.
It's not about the business. I wouldn't do a radio show an hour a week. Sorry, go on, Jamie. Talk. My bad.
It's a small industry, I think, and there isn't that many people that share what me and Ollie have together. The knowledge, the bouncing, the product conception, the way the market is, the way the business is going. It's a small world. It's hard to find it, even for me to find people to work with. I can't find them. I need assistance and people to help me out because I'm on my own. I do everything myself, and to find someone that I'm comfortable with, I can't find it. I mean, I found Ollie and his company, and they're going to help me, grow and with products, and especially with this novel food stuff and all the rest of it. So I'm loving Taylor Mammoth and all that. They're fantastic. So yeah, you need each other. It's a small community. I invested some money into an amazing brand called Product Earth. It's a it's like, yeah, it's like Spanibus. Fantastic. The community there.
It's an expo. It's an expo once a year, Russ. It's like a cannabis community expo. It's got a very good following.
And it's wonderful. The people are there. They're fantastic. You go there, you socialize. The real people, the real niche people in this industry are a joy to be with, a joy to talk to. It only gets better.
But that's
now, just for our listeners, hang on, Ollie, just for a sec. Sorry, just for our listeners and viewers, Jamie's obviously his internet is not being fabulous this evening, so I apologize. It's slightly it's a little bit ropey, but we're getting, the main thing is we're getting the gist of everything that he's saying. So apologies. We are aware there is the internet isn't great. Normally that's me, but
I'm going to tell the kids to turn the PlayStation off. Do you want to give me 1 second?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, of course. That's a great idea.
Good idea.
Hey, you know what else is good, Ollie? You know what else is good? He doesn't have bookshelves behind him.
No, he's a normal person.
Like a normal person.
But he did pull out a book which was basically the size of like the British Library about mushrooms.
Which is what I love cool. It is you pick a random subject and he picks up the book on that subject.
Do you know what's the good thing about books that size?
What?
If someone's shooting at you, can hold it up and it's like bulletproof. You know what I mean? That's the good thing about books that size. To be honest with you, I'm pro book. I like the idea of pages turning, but I mean, like most people would say, you can get that on Kindle. Be much smaller.
No, I prefer book. Right. Now that the Xbox and the Grand Theft Auto has been switched off, or whatever it was,
Call of Duty, right?
No, Fortnite.
What's Fortnite?
What?
We're not different show. We're not getting into gaming.
We don't know.
Okay.
I know it's huge.
I'm not a gamer. So let's carry on talking. So basically, you actually take care of people, as in like you have like clients who call you up, who buy products off you, and who call you up saying, look, Jamie, I need something for this, I need something for that. Do you find that like most people who use CBD and cannabinoids are using it for pain management, or do you find that it's more of the mental health, like the anxieties, or do you find it's more for like maintaining homeostasis? As a brand designer, manufacturer, seller, I want to kind of get your ideas. That I want users out there to get an idea of the sorts of interactions you have and where you kind of where you put majority of your effort. Plus, I know you love spending time in your lab. I know you love creating things. What are you usually creating things for, etc., etc., etc.
But I think everyone's different. I mean, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of pain management. I get a lot of anxiety. I get a lot of polymyalgia, fibromyalgia. I get migraines. Lots of everyone's so different, and you have to really start with. It's difficult. Everyone's different, so you need to find out what's different, and you need to find out how they react to certain levels of CBD. Finding your dose is the most important thing. Finding the bit that you're happy with.
We call that drop tectonics.
Yeah,
it's understanding what's in a drop of CBD and how many drops of that CBD you need to hit your point of perfection.
Yeah, and doing it, exactly, and that takes time to find out. So I like to put people on a program. I start low. We always start slow and low. 500 milligrams, 20 drops a day, 2 weeks, then move up to 1,000. See how you're going at 1,000. Then what I like to do is I like to drop them down dramatically. From 1,000 back to 500.
Sorry, we lost that, Jamie. Say that last bit again. What we like to do is
I like to drop them back down to like 500 milligrams. So take them to 1,000 for 2 weeks, and then drop them down to 500, maybe less, just to see how they notice. Most of them will notice it working or not at that point. If you don't notice anything, maybe CBD isn't for you. Maybe your endocannabinoid system is absolutely fine and it doesn't need balancing any further. Maybe other things that need balancing. So you don't want someone taking CBD that doesn't necessarily need it. You don't want to just sell people on here. This is gonna. But I think a good way to tell for someone if it's working or not is to do that. Is to drop the dose and see that. My mother-in-law had polymyalgia, and amazingly, she was on steroids for 5 years. We started the program with her. I got her to 1,000. I dropped her down to 500. And she was in bits, absolutely in bits. That's so sensitive addictive. It was amazing that that drop from 500 milligram from 1,000 to 5 caused so much. Incredible. It was one of my moments of, this is how I need to treat people. This is how I test it works, by dropping the dose back down. Drop that dose, then you find out if it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You know, maybe pick it up again in 3 months. But there's not enough. The problem I find is that, you know, these big companies, they come in, they milk it, try and sell, Holland and Barrett, whatever, sell. But there's no one's working with them. There's no instruction.
Jamie, I don't suppose you could very quickly try and reboot your system, could you? Because
it's
so interesting.
Clearly.
It's so in. Are you?
I'm hearing him fully clearly, so I don't understand. So I don't know if it's you or if it's maybe my internet's also slow, so it's working at the same speed as his. Oh. I don't know if it works that way.
No, everything is going great on mine.
I'm so sorry, Ross. I feel so bad.
No, carry on. Carry on.
I want to ask you a question, Jamie, because this is one thing I have, all right? And I never know how to answer it. And I'm always like, look, I don't have time to have this argument with you. When you get the phone call from someone, I want to try CBD. I'm like, okay, cool, try this. They're like, but CBD doesn't work. I mean, so why are you calling me to try CBD if CBD doesn't work? I go, well, I tried CBD. I tried the Holland and Barrett, or I tried the eBay brand, or I bought some off of Amazon, and it doesn't work. And now I'm like, well, what have you bought? And they go, I don't know, the one from, all right? And then it's a little bit like when you go to America, and so I was like, oh, do you know my friend John from Sheffield? It's just, how am I going to know John from Sheffield? How am I going to know what product you've bought? And I'm saying, do you ever get that? Because it really frustrates me, and I find it really hard to answer that question of, you know, CBD is not right for me. And I'm like, but how do you know that? Because you haven't tried a right product. Do you understand what I mean? Do you find that?
You need to be in touch with your body as well. You know, I look at CBD like I look at vitamin C. To me, it's a vitamin. It's a vitamin for your ECS. You get your ECS working good.
Endocannabinoid system. ECS is endocannabinoid system.
Just like when you take vitamin C, your immune system works good. How do you know when you take vitamin C if it's working well? How do you know? You don't feel the effects of vitamin C. You feel that your immune system is good because you don't get ill. But I think lots of people take CBD thinking they're going to get a psychiatric effect.
Yeah, they're going to get stoned. Yeah.
I took it, nothing happened. Well, no, it didn't. You know, the only way you're going to feel your ECS is working is because you're feeling great in 3 or 4 weeks' time.
I always say to people, I go, why are you taking CBD? And they go, oh, no reason, just everyone else is. I'm like, saying, what? There's no reason for you to be taking it. You know, that's why, that's always like my first response is, you know, why are you taking it? What is the purpose of this application? You know, right? What's the reason behind these drops? What's the reason behind that bar? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, it's just randomly cut off.
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I just can't. Oh, there you go. Sorry.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So what was I saying, Russ? I completely forgot. You distracted me.
I don't know, to be honest, because I was busy trying to fix things here. All I do know is that hello to Gloria Miller in Santa Monica, California, who's watching live right now. Hi, Glo. Hope you're well. Hope all good.
So what
and they're saying they can hear you beautifully in Santa Monica. There we are. So I can't hear you around the corner.
Jamie, what I was saying is I've just lost it again. Jesus, what's going on with my brain today? It's like a sieve. Do you ever get
your notes, Hol?
No, I don't have notes. The notes are all done. I was just
what you're saying is people say it doesn't work and it works.
Yeah.
And expecting to get to, you know, it will help you sleep, but it won't help you sleep the night you take it. It will help you sleep well after a couple of weeks.
Oh, I disagree with that. Me and Russ had a little experiment.
I don't know, dude. I think if you're just taking some CBD like that and you think you're gonna that night, for a start, it's gonna take 5 or 6 hours to even get into.
Jamie, I have terrible insomnia. Yeah, my sleep patterns are terrible, and so last week or the week before, it was 3:30 in the morning. I thought, this is ridiculous. So I went and took a load of Ollie's stuff. The phone goes at 12 noon. I'm like, I thought it was sort of 7 in the morning. It was 12 noon and I was live on air. So, and I had to go and throw water on myself. Knocked me out completely. I mean, really, what? People were cracked up laughing at me.
I made him something super strong. So I made him a 30% tincture. Okay. So 30% CBD drops. And I put a special terpene blend in there.
Oh, okay.
So I put an evening-based terpene blend in there, which we play with a couple of different terpenes, and it's worked perfectly for him.
Yeah, I mean, see,
super lucky.
There's no real serotonin instant effect of there's no psychiatric effect. So yeah, listen, I think when you really want to have consistent sleep, not just you need to take CBD every day. And you take it every day, your ECS becomes balanced. That helps your serotonin, regulates your serotonin, helps you sleep better, helps you sleep longer. It's everyone's different. And CBD affects people.
Now, here's a comment from somebody called Ben Beeden. I don't know if you know him. Ben, welcome. Quality cannabis product will help you sleep quickly. You ain't kidding. Blimey. A residual anxiety or mental issue, which is having a knock-on effect, may take longer to combat, which may result in better sleep. That makes perfect sense, Ben. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben.
Comment. That's a great comment.
You do love that rock and roll, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to talk about sleep? You want to talk getting to sleep? You're talking about in CBN.
Yeah, CBN is different cannabinoid. It's very good for sleep, but unfortunately, it's illegal in the UK.
Illegal, but in LA when I was working out there, I had a little CBN vape pen by the bed, and it never failed to get me to sleep.
They make CBN melatonin gummies now. I mean, they do some incredible stuff, in America.
So for the uninitiated, guys, for the uninitiated, CBN is what?
CBN is cannabinol.
Yeah, it's another cannabinoid that basically it's degraded THC, so it's oxidized.
So explain to a punter like myself why is it illegal over here? What's the problem with it?
In layman terms, it's basically you get some weed, some THC weed, you leave that THC weed for 5 or 6 months in the shed, it gets old, the THC degrades and turns into CBN.
In scientific terms, so what happens is you have a cannabis plant or a hemp plant, what's it called? Cannabis sativa. You have the mother plant. Now, this mother plant produces a cannabinoid called CBG. CBG is the foundational, you could call it a foundational cannabinoid. Sorry?
It's the mother.
The mother cannabinoid, And what happens is all other cannabinoids, CBD, THC, CBN, CBC, CBDV, they all come from transitions to CBG. So CBG with light and heat and time and other pressures will change into other cannabinoids. Now, CBD is one of these cannabinoids, which is completely legal in the UK because it's non-psychoactive, non-psychotropic. Because of the effect which CBN has on sleep, it is a controlled cannabinoid in the UK, and it's illegal in the UK because it actually has a psychotropic effect, which enables you to pass out. And it's also kind of it's an interesting one, though. It's an interesting one because in America, all of these cannabinoids are being studied a lot more. In Israel, a lot of these cannabinoids are being studied a lot more, and you could say the functions of these cannabinoids are known and they're used a lot more. So in the UK, we have CBD, and what happens is we play with it to try and give it different effects. In other countries where these cannabinoids are legal, you have a larger proportion of options, which is kind of good for other people. Sucky.
Well, I've got a message here again from Santa Monica in California, from my very good dear friend Gloria Miller. Hooray for gummies for sleep. So obviously it's working over there.
Brush your teeth, though. Remember to brush your teeth because those gummies will literally rip through everything.
Remember to brush your teeth, or I'll report you to Shirley Green, and she'll get on the phone, or you'll never hear the end of it. So there we are. I'm sure she will.
But everyone's different, and you have to take that on board. Unfortunately, in the UK, we're limited to what we can do with and what we can prescribe, or not prescribe, but what we can help people with. For pain, for serious pain, for bad pain. In America, I was recommending THC to all sorts of people, and it worked fantastic. It's tough.
Jamie, let me read this because it really does endorse what you and Oliver are saying. This is from Veronica Curran, who's up in Edinburgh, in Scotland. I always say that in case people don't know where it is. 23 years of chronic pain, fibromyalgia, plus 1,001 issues. And over time, I've been on the A to Z of opioids. 2 weeks on the CBD and no opioids. The difference is amazing.
You're incredible, Veronica. You are incredible.
Wow.
Stay strong. You're an amazing person for doing that. And seriously, I know it must be super hard because they say that cannabinoids give you like a 30% reduction in pain. So I know it must be super hard to not be going back to the opioids. Well done. Really well done. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
But keep going.
That's it. And whatever brand you're using, I suggest you keep on using them. And also, like JB said, it might be good to regulate your dose, because it's always good to take less on days where you're not flared and more on days where you're flared, to kind of keep keep it regulated. Because then what happens is your body will take more when you use it, when you need it, and less when you don't need it. But seriously, really well done.
Getting to know yourself like that with the right dose for you is real good.
Jamie, can I ask you this? Jamie, if you can hear me all right, can I ask you this? Is that this year has been just ghastly for everybody. No one's come out of this unscathed. And we've already mentioned the word anxiety a lot. It's going to explode next year in ways that I dread. And we've never been busier on Men's Radio Station, obviously preparing ourselves for that and trying to help in the meantime. Do you think that more people should be looking at what you and Ollie do? Because anxiety is so real, even with people who have never had it before, are very together, and suddenly they're feeling anxious. They don't know why. It's ranging from low-level anxiety to I can't get out of bed anxiety. So that's my question to you, to both of you, really. I'll start with Jamie, if I may.
So I cut out a little bit there. It was you're saying about this year anxiety, I heard.
Oh dear. Ollie, did you hear me?
So basically, Russ is talking about how anxiety is becoming so much worse in general, and how people are having low-level anxiety, also having a high-level anxiety.
Should people be using cannabinoids to get better?
Yeah, people should be. Or at least try it. I'm not saying make it your Bible, but I'm saying, listen, if you're waking up every day and you don't feel right, and a few drops can make you feel right, you might as well try it. Now, I know a lot of people, I'm one of them, who have been on prescription medications for my anxieties. And personally, I prefer my paste every morning. I prefer my CBD drops over the day. That's what works for me. But I'm saying for you as an individual, okay, you've got to make the decision. You've got to take the step. We can provide the education, we can provide the information, but we're not doctors, so we can't be recommending you to make the change. But all we can do is say you should try it, because there's no harm in trying something which you've never tried before. And if it works for hundreds of thousands of other people, it might work for you. Now, if it doesn't, once again, I'm sorry, but I would say if you're suffering, it's not a bad way to kind of combat it. Plus, I would also say what Jamie said about the lifestyle, eating better, sleeping better. The issue is with this year is all of our routines have been literally picked up, stuck in a blender, thrown into a waste disposal, and then we're at the other side with with the water treatment facility trying to piece our lives back together with dust and mush. It's not possible. So what we all have to do is maintain a lifestyle, which my girlfriend gets on me every day about, because my sleep patterns are terrible at the moment. But I mean, it's about maintaining a lifestyle which is healthy, because when you're living healthy and you're thinking healthy and you're being healthy, the chances are you will be healthy. That's just what happens. And
it's a multiple of things. It's exercise, it's well-being, it's mental well-being, it's like I said, good sex. It's
also talking. We live in a world where, unfortunately, especially us, okay, the older generation, okay, I want to say 30 above, it's like a crime to talk about the fact that you're sad as a dude. And it's not. You're allowed to talk about feeling sad, feeling scared, the burden of the world being on your shoulders. You're allowed to have that fear, and you're allowed to express it. And fact of the matter is, as someone who has felt the fear this year and who has felt the fear many other years in my life, I can only say that when I talk about it, it makes things so much easier. And you're not the only one suffering. Not to detract from your pain, to make you realize you're not alone. We're here with you. And fact of the matter is, I should be a therapist. This is incredible. But seriously, it's all about.
Patient would never get a word in.
Huh? Fine.
Okay, Dr. Mammon. Boom.
But no,
Did you tell me your problems? I didn't have time. I was only there 3 hours.
Okay.
Now, a question from Santa Monica for you both, from Gloria Miller. Should consideration be given to any other medication that one is on? That's a very, very good question. And a lot of people must be asking themselves the same thing.
Yeah,
I'll start with Jamie again, if I may.
Again, knowledge is power. You need to, certainly, like Ollie said, we're not doctors. So if you're suffering from problems that, whether it's cancer drugs or whatever drugs that you may be taking, big pharma drugs, you need to consult your doctor and let them know everything you're taking, including CBD or whatever you may be taking. They can counteract. CBD can have effects on other drugs.
Contraindications, isn't it? They could be quite bad. But also, a lot of things have contraindications. You know, there are some cancer medicines where you can't have grapefruit. Do you know what I mean? So it's
of course. I mean, but then there's cancer medicines that you mix with turkey tail that work fantastic together. So
I'm on. It's not that extreme, guys, because I'm on statins. I have been for ages, or years. I can't have grapefruit. You know, my life goes on. I haven't really suffered from it, apart from when I visit my friend in Los Angeles. Grapefruit tree in the garden, but there we are. That's it. Veronica Curran says, that's the plan. It's a plan in action, a lot of learning. This show has been so informative with great guests. Thanks, guys. It's the children with epilepsy. They show such proof. That was an earlier show, one of Ollie's guests. I was gobsmacked. It was magnificent. I really couldn't believe it, what I was seeing. Couldn't believe it.
My guess.
Yeah, that's right. Don't strain yourself patting yourself on the back. Now, no, don't do that. Now, so Jamie, because we're running out of time. The time's just zooming. First thing, we'd love to have you back. You're a terrific character. So will you come back, Jamie?
Of course.
Lovely. That's great. That's great. Not everyone agrees. Some people look absolutely horrified. They'd rather go and have root canal.
No, I like it. It's good. It's good to talk about. You know, I studied. I did a few diplomas and all this stuff. So it comes back. At the moment, I'm just being so busy in the lab every day making products for people that I've had no time to even think about it.
Now that's the first question. Now before you go, Jamie, because you've been very generous with your time and we appreciate it. And don't get cross, Ollie. What is the name of your company? Is it what's written on your T-shirt, or is it something completely different?
It's called Woodies.
It is called Woodies. Okay,
Woodies.
Crazy guess on my part.
Yeah, it's listen, I'm cannabinoid obsessed. I know what I'm talking about. I feel that I'm a master in this subject. But you do find that this one plant leads you to talk about other plants, other herbs, other things, and nutrition as well, like we've talked about. And I do a lot of work with my mum. My mum is an amazing person for nutrition.
It's not Joe, is it?
Yeah.
It is Joe.
Yeah, it is. Dude, are you single?
No, stop. Don't go there. I know where you're going. Don't.
Are you single?
Do you want Russ to be your dad? Is that literally it?
My partner will be watching, and there will be hell to pay because we're having dinner later. So, No, I've met Joe. I met Joe loads of times. She's absolutely fabulous.
Come on, man.
She's great.
I'm always looking out for mum, man. I need to find.
She's lovely. I've met her loads and loads of times all over the place. She's charming. She's charming. She's always very gracious, and she's lots of fun too. She's lots of fun.
Right.
So please send her my personal regards. I'd be delighted.
Yeah, so we've been doing this. Me and Mum have been doing these shows together. So where she cooks nutritional stuff, and I come in with the cannabinoids and mix the CBD in. It's been quite fun. We've done.
Blimey.
Yeah,
I love that.
On my Instagram page, have a look. Have a look.
I don't do Instagram. It's.
Can we do a special, Ross, one day, which is cooking?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do that. Like, 1,000,000%. Let's do a cooking show one week with you and your mum.
Yes, that would be great.
I love that.
We'll go out there and we'll make some mad shit with her, dude, because she brings that cooking side to it, and then we can bring the cannabis side to it, and then together we're achieving homeostasis.
I think it'll be incredible. I think it'll be so much fun. We get to our own ready, steady cook. I'm going to go spend 20 quid on a bag of stuff for her. I'm going to make it cannabis infused.
I'm about to put the one we just did where she made avocado. She made chocolate mousse out of avocado, and I added the CBD in.
She's magic. Right, we are completely out of time, guys. Jamie Wood, it's been an absolute pleasure and an experience to meet you. So, in terms that you like,
it's crazy.
Thank you so much, Ollie. As always, you are extraordinary. We'll see you next week. Till then, take care.
Love
Bye.
you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much.